Okay, so Ankit, again, let me thank you for your time.
Sir, thank you, sir.
So
I'm
Ankit,
glad.
ये this is a part of our weekly series जो हम बना रहे हैं related to IELTS, and I think this is our second video. और first में हमने थोड़ा सा interaction किया था IELTS के बारे में, and this is the second video in which I requested कि आज आप हमें अगर if you can tell us about IELTS का जो structure है, format है, so maybe you can share your presentation PPTs and you can tell us about the structure. So can we go for that, Ankit?
Yes, sir. Sure, sir.
So
So
what we
basically,
are going to show today to us in that particular presentation?
yeah. So basically, this presentation is all about a very brief introduction about IELTS, and we are going to discuss very key information in this
Okay.
presentation.
Okay.
Generally, students have to keep these things in their mind before
Yes.
going for IELTS exam.
Yes. So I
So
think
basically, sir, today we're going to discuss something about IELTS. So we are going to discuss what is IELTS first of all,
Mhm.
and then basically we'll move to some other topics such as test format, test modules, regarding something about the test results, and then basically we're going to discuss band scores. Again, we'll discuss IELTS test format or structure, you can say, and in the end, we will basically provide few tips and tricks for the students.
Mhm.
So, sir, regarding IELTS, I would say again, it's such an easy exam. Generally, students take 2 to 3 months to prepare. If they know how to prepare, this can be done within 10 days.
Mhm.
So IELTS is generally, basically, it's a test basically designed to assess the English ability, language ability of students or people, you can say, working professional. Basically, those who wants to study abroad where English is the language of communication, right? So
Mhm.
IELTS is nothing, just assessment of your English language ability. That's all.
Mhm.
So regarding the partners, I would say if a student wants to join or basically book their IELTS exam, they have to book through IDP, right?
Mhm.
And in their official website, they have all the informations regarding how to book IELTS exam.
Mhm.
But the key information is you need to have your passport. If you don't have your passport, so IDP will not allow you to book IELTS exam.
Mhm.
Passport is mandatory.
Mhm.
So this is the only document requirement which you have to fulfill.
Okay. Mhm.
So regarding sir, basically again, if you book your IELTS exam from IDP, you will receive one preparation book from University of Cambridge Publications, and this book will contain 4 mock tests.
Mhm.
So again, these mocks will be very essential, for the preparation.
Mhm.
And now regarding modules, something very important which a student has to understand this thing. So the
Mhm.
first is there are two kind of modules. Number one is called as academic, and the second one is called as general.
Mhm.
So for those students who are basically targeting masters or basically PhD or in general university admissions, they
Mhm.
have to book their academic test,
Mhm.
not general training test. General training test are only for working professional, those who want to migrate to countries like Canada, right,
Mhm.
for their permanent residency.
Mhm.
So again, in nutshell, those who are targeting university admission, they have to book their IELTS academic module.
Mhm.
Regarding format, there are two format, right? So first one is called as pen paper based format. This is more traditional way of writing exam. You will get a pen and paper,
Mhm.
something we are used to it, sir. And
Mhm.
then the second one is computer based. But again, the selection student basically, now the question is which format students should prefer. So
Mhm.
I would say it totally depends on them. So if they want to write their IELTS exam in pen paper based,
Mhm.
I would say go for it. But if you're comfortable in writing exams on computer,
Mhm.
so again, I would encourage you to basically write computer based exam. The
Mhm.
only difference is basically apart from again structural differences. The only difference is regarding basically the test results, duration, right? So
Mhm.
the thing is in pen paper based format.
Mhm.
Generally, IDP takes 10 to 14 days to deliver your test results. But
Mhm.
for computer-based, you can receive within 5 days.
Mhm.
So if you are in rush for university admissions, deadlines are nearby, you can simply go for computer-based
Mhm.
IELTS exam. Both these format cost somewhere around 15,500, right? So again, the selection depends on the student. If they're comfortable with the pen, paper, or computer, it's totally up to them. But both are available in India. Now, basically regarding test results, so I would say the validity is for 2 years. So in these 2 years, a student can apply anywhere in this world. But after 2 years, they have to write their IELTS again. And regarding band score, so I would say there are four sections: listening, reading, writing, and speaking. So all of these four sections contains 9 bands each. So your total or overall IELTS test result is just an average of these four sections.
Okay.
So again, listening and reading are comparatively very simple section as compared to writing.
I
And
think,
generally,
Ankit, it is not visible if you are showing some another slide. Okay, yeah.
it's visible.
Now it is visible. We are at the IELTS test result.
Yes,
Right.
exactly.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So again, I would say we were discussing something about the validity of test results. So validity is for 2 years. Within these 2 years, a student can apply anywhere in this world. They
Mm.
can, just keep on submitting their IELTS test results. But
Mm.
if basically the IELTS test results expired, then students will have to write this again.
Mm.
Regarding band score, I was saying, sir, basically there are four components of this test: listening, reading, writing, and speaking. So
Mm.
means 9 bands each,
Mm.
and therefore the total or the overall band
Mm.
of your IELTS exam is basically just an average of these four sections.
Mm.
And listening and reading are comparatively scoring section as compared to writing and speaking. So I would say listening and reading should be, priority.
Okay.
And regarding band score, so again, there is no passing or failing marks. So you will just receive bands as
Mm.
per your English language abilities. So
Mm.
again, it can be 5, it can be 6. It
Mm.
totally depends on the student.
Okay.
So the next important thing is band score. So this is basically a minor description of band scores, right? So for university admission, student must target somewhere around band 8 to band 7.
Okay.
So they have to be very good user or good user of English language.
Okay.
Yeah, so if you are getting below 5 bands, so again you have to write this exam again.
Mm.
So again, sir, one important thing is regarding this country-wise basically band requirements. So
Mm.
for those who are targeting Canada, they have to get somewhere around 6.5 overall bands. For
Mm.
USA, again, it depends on the university. 7.5 to 6.5 bands is the requirement in US as well. In Australia, it's somewhere around 6.5 to 5.5 bands.
Mm.
But in Europe, the requirement is pretty much less. It's only 6 bands.
Mm.
So again, if you are stuck at 6 bands and you want to target Europe, then I don't think that you need to prepare again. Six
Mm.
band would be enough for Europe.
Mm.
So this is basically a mindset of students should be.
Mm. Okay.
So again, the question arises, what would be the safe score if a student wants to apply anywhere in this world? So I would say again, 7.5 bands should be the safe score. If
Mm.
you have these bands or
Mm.
more than 7.5 band,
Mm.
you can apply literally anywhere in this world.
Mm.
So again, if you are preparing for IELTS, you should focus on somewhere around 6, 7.5 bands, 7 to 7.5 bands.
Okay.
Okay. Regarding test format, sir, I would say there are four sections. So listening, reading, writing, and speaking, right?
Mm. Mm.
Listening lasts for 30 minutes. All
Mm.
right. So basically they will give you a recording. So you will hear the recording and you have to answer accordingly. We will discuss each of these things in separate session
Mm.
dedicatedly.
Mm.
And reading will last for 60 minutes. There are usually, I think, three paragraphs, three passages. So you have to basically attempt three passages as well.
Mm.
Writing, there are two tasks. One
Mm.
is some summary of graph. A graph could be anything like line graph, bar graph, pie chart, something they will provide you, and you have to write the summary of it.
Mm.
And then basically the second task is called as essay,
Mm.
where you have to basically write an essay based on arguments or opinions, advantage, disadvantage, these things. So
Mm.
again, writing is very simple section, but again, the basically, average score in writing section in India is somewhere around 6.5 bands. So that's why I'm saying listening, student can take 9 out of 9. In academic reading, student can take at least 8 out of 9. In writing, even if they're taking the average, that is 6.5 bands. So again, in speaking, let's say they are taking 7 bands. So again, the average would be somewhere around 7.5 bands. So that's why I'm saying the focus should be on listening and reading. But they should not forget about writing. This is such an important section. Regarding speaking, so the speaking lasts for 10 to 15 minutes. Again, you have to go to the examination center, because speaking would be somewhere somewhat like one-on-one interaction. So examiner will ask you questions and you have to provide the answers. So again, the first three sections that are listening, reading, and writing, they have to be attend, in one sitting. And for speaking, they have to select one date, and speaking date should be different from the main test date. So again, this is basically the test format or structure of IELTS exam. We are going to discuss all of these sections dedicatedly in series of videos. So again, these are 4 hour section of IELTS exams which student must keep in their mind. In the end, basically, there are a few practical tips. First of all, if a student wants to prepare for IELTS, as I've said, this is an easy exam. You don't have to prepare for like 2 to 3 months. This can be done within 10 days. So the first point is you have to understand the test. This is compulsory. This is mandatory. You have to understand the test. You have to understand the contents, format, timing, and scoring. Moreover, you have to understand the question types. So listening and reading, they have, like 8 to 9 or somewhere around 10 to 11 question types respectively. So if you are basically understanding question types in listening and reading sections, so you would be able to rectify your mistake. You would be able to judge your preparation in each and every level. If you're not understanding question types and if you start attending the mocks, I would say again, you would be stuck somewhere during your preparation. So those, who basically don't use English often, they should build reading and listening habits. And then basically again, always set a goal while practicing. So if you are targeting Europe, you don't have to get more than 6 bands. Even if you're getting 6 bands, that would be enough. If you're targeting Canada, so focus should be on 6.5 bands, because that's the ultimate requirement for university admission as well as for the visa requirements. So again, always set a goal where you're focusing, in which country you want to do your masters. So set your goal accordingly. And then basically you have to practice reading, writing, listening, speaking session each and every day. There is no, you know, there should be no careless, carelessness from their behalf, right? And for fifth point, you have to learn from mistakes. That's why I'm saying you have to divide your mistakes into question types. So you have to understand each and everything about IELTS. And sixth thing is mock are the keys. So we are providing mocks in our portal. We have a lot of mocks, and so far, students are assessing them, attempting them, and they're getting really good results. And in the end, basically, IELTS is such a fun exam. You can simply enjoy the process. You can simply enjoy the preparation, and it can be done within days. You can simply write your exams within 2 weeks if you prepare your test well. So I think this is all about, brief introduction regarding IELTS exam.
Yeah.
In the
So
upcoming session, we will discuss each and every module separately,
yeah, so I think
section
we can
separately.
discuss about each module in the next videos, Ankit.
Yes, sir,
So you just
exactly.
mentioned how many days are required if somebody is committed for this exam, Ankit?
So I think, it can be done within 10 to 14 days, I would say.
Okay.
But yeah, but students have to basically, understand how to prepare for IELTS exam. That's why they need guidance.
Okay, okay. So I think you have mentioned, so crux, agar if I tell about the crux, Ankit, I think we can come out of this presentation. Yeah. So what crux you've said is like there are components, 4 components, and to be safe, 7.5, US, Europe, everywhere. To be safe, 7.5 band is required. and you have
Yes.
mentioned about the components, and then next couple of videos may we will be talking about each component. You have said
Yes,
that
exactly.
15 days may you can do. So even if I go pessimistic, let's say 1 month, it's not a big deal. It is not a very difficult exam, simple exam, nothing to worry, and you can think of this much of bands. Next videos may
Exactly,
will
sir.
make very precise strategy for students how they can crack it. Right, Ankit?
Sure, exactly, sir.
Chalo, thank you a lot. Thanks a lot, Ankit, for this very brief presentation.
Thank you, sir.